Hello and welcome to this video introducing the Siui V9Lite and a quick walkthrough of the controls. Well, we're just going to cover the basics in this video, so if you have any specific questions please drop them in the comments below or just get in touch and we can hopefully answer them for you. So to start with, for the Siui V9Lite, I press the power button that's on the right hand side of the screen. That'll go green once it's powering up. And once it's finished starting up, you'll come to this screen as your start screen. Now I'm just going to run you through the basic controls and what I would do for this exam. So to begin with, I'd hit the ID button on the top left hand side. This will bring up my patient data screen. Here, using the keypad and the tracker ball, we can enter as much or as little data as we need. Just be aware, if you have a patient ID, you can add that in. If not, the system will auto-populate that for you. Once I'm happy and I've added in everything I need, I can click Save and Start. So for the tracker ball, this button on the right hand side of the tracker ball is always going to be your set key. So I can save and start, and that's going to bring me up to my 2D imaging screen, and your patient data will be along the top. Before I start scanning, I would always check what preset I'm in. To do that, hit the probe button. And here you can select which probe and preset you have. So I have two probes plugged in. I have the phased array and the microconvex. So I can cycle between the two just using the mouse. And again, this right button is the set key. For this example, I'll just start off as a large dog on cardiology. Now that will just adjust the settings for me. So hopefully it'll be optimized for the scan you're doing. But you do have some settings that you can change whilst you're scanning. And the main ones we would look at is your depth key. So that's depth here. You can see that's highlighted. So if depth is highlighted, then you can adjust your depth, twisting it to move the depth up and down. You have your B mode button here. So that's your gain key. So you can see I can rotate this clockwise to increase the gain or anti-clockwise to decrease the gain. You also have your TGCs here where you can adjust the gain in certain areas of the image. And then you have your focal point. You can adjust that using the up and down arrows here. And you can see the focal point is a white arrow on the side of the screen, which will adjust. As well as those, you may want to adjust your frequency. To adjust your frequency, that's just this control in the middle. You'll see that the knobs in the middle, they don't actually have any labels on, but what they do is they correlate with what's on the screen above them. So you can see we've got C2, which relates to this control. Frequency is highlighted. At the minute we're on general, I can twist to go to res, so that'll be a higher frequency giving you higher resolution images, but the trade-off will be you can't scan as deep into the animal. Or you can go to pen, which will be lower frequency, so you get lower resolution images, but the benefit is you get higher penetration, so you can scan deeper into the animal. So you might want to adjust your frequencies to see what you prefer. But they would be our main controls, our basic controls for optimizing the image. Adjusting the gain here, the depth with this one, our TGCs, focal position using the arrows, and then finally your frequency there. Once you're happy with your images, and you want to save an image, you can freeze. You can use the tracker ball to scroll back through the frames to the frame you would like to save. And then save one will save a still image. So if I hit save one, you'll see that will populate the thumbnail there. Save 2 saves the cine loop, so hit save 2, that will populate, and you'll see there's a little play button there representing that being a cine loop. You can change the length of the cine loop, so if I hit the setup key next to enter, that will take me into the back pages and the settings. Using the mouse and again this set key, go to storage, and we'll see save 1 is saving an image, save 2 is saving a cine loop, and you can adjust the number of frames you save that cine loop for. If you want to make the change, click apply, and then back will take you back to your imaging screen. If on any of these frozen images you want to take any measurements, you have two options. You have this button here, which is a generic measurement and a generic caliper. If you press that, that will bring up your caliper. Using the tracker pad and this right set key, you can make a measurement and you'll just get a generic distance measurement. And if you save that image, that will be saved onto the image. Alternatively, you might want to make a labeled measurement. So I can freeze the image and use this button on the left hand side. And here you'll see our labeled measurements. So these will be labeled measurements that you can do and they will give you distances with a label and also any calculations you may need. So for LA-AO ratio, you can see I can take the measurement. What's nice here is you do have a little zoomed in box you can look at whilst you're taking the measurement, but you can see for labelled measurements, those measurements will be labelled and any relevant calculations will be done as well. Once you're happy and you want to start scanning, just unfreeze. Now we have our imaging modes here. So we have our colour, which is our C button. Press the colour button. That will bring up our colour box. We can use the tracker pad to adjust position, or we can click this button on the right hand side, which you can see at the minute position is highlighted. If I click the button, size is highlighted. So I can use the tracker pad to adjust the size. So I can flick between position and size to adjust the colour box. And you also have your gain you can adjust for the colour, and also your scale, which will represent by that one. If you want to go back to your 2D image, your get out is always hitting this B mode button. Just press that knob in, it will always take you back to your 2D image. Pulse wave and continuous wave work the same. Hit the PW button. Use the tracker pad to adjust the cursor where you want the Doppler to be taken. Hit the PW again. That will start your trace. You have your scale and baseline on the same knob, so I can adjust my scale. If I press the button in, baseline will be highlighted so I can adjust the baseline, and you have your gain there as well. And measurements work the same. I can freeze, hit the measure button, and I'll get my labelled measurements there. If you want to go back to your 2D imaging, just press the B mode button in, and continuous wave Doppler works the same. M mode, similar, hit the M button, that brings up your M mode and your cursor, and just use the tracker pad to adjust the M mode there. They should be the main controls you use and the main settings you use for basic scans. You do have TDI here. You do have a zoom button, so I can hit the HD zoom. That will bring up your box, and similar to the colour box, tracker pad will adjust position. I can click in to adjust size. And when you want to enter the zoom, just hit that top button there, and that will bring you in to your zoom box. Once you're happy, you've taken all your images, what you can do is you can review images simply by hitting this mouse button to bring the mouse up, scroll across, and then just double click on the image you want to review, and that will bring it up. Then if you want to start scanning again, just hit the B mode, and that will take you back to your live scan. If you've taken all your images and you're now happy and you want to end the exam, you can hit the ID button and then scroll across to end exam, use the set key, end exam, confirm, and then what we can do is hit back to go back to the 2D imaging screen. To review any exams you've done previously, you can press the Smarchive button on the top left hand side there, and this will bring up all the exams you've done previously, which you can select to open those exams. You can take measurements on any stored images, and also you can export the exams just by highlighting them and then clicking the export button, which is here, your transfer button. So if you put a USB in, you can transfer your scans using the transfer button. This is just a basic walkthrough of the Siui V9Lite. If you have any specific questions on the system, please drop them below and we can try and answer it. There's also a manual which will come with your system which will walk you through the controls.